do you feel the pressure at an event like that, even if you're not comfortable, to like get the trick in that you think you're going to do? Or is it the crowd? Like what happens? Like talk us through how big that event is and what the pressure feels like.
Yeah, I think, yeah, like I said, it's the biggest slopestyle event there is. It's where slopestyle was born, so it's a hugely important one, and basically where all the slopestyle riders dream of riding one day. And I finally made it there. And I mean, in Sweden, we don't really have any courses similar to that. So always when you show up to an event, it's a huge learning curve, just getting into the speeds. I'd say that's probably the hardest part to get used to, just how fast you're going and doing your tricks on a probably 3 to 4 times bigger jump than you have at home. So for me in practice, it's always like I take it quite easy and like get the speed dialed, because I know all the tricks I can do them. Just it's a matter of getting comfortable on the course and figuring out the speed. So the crash was actually just on a tail whip on the boner log, which would have been the second feature on course. And I just basically overshot the tail whip, probably just because being a little bit nervous of doing it for the first time. And yeah, it didn't help that I saved it for the last few minutes before the event. But yeah, it worked out on my run. Learned from my mistake. So yeah, and definitely, like you're saying, it's a lot of people there, but I kind of don't think that even matters. It's more like just the pressure you put on yourself, and you kind of in the zone, just doing a thing, focusing on the course.
Yeah, I mean, it would be tough if you let spectators and things influence you. So you're the type of rider that doesn't have to do every trick of his run in practice. If you feel you've got the speed and the flow, will you keep some gnarly ones, or did you, just for that like second banger run?
Oh, for sure. I think probably at least 50% of my run wasn't done beforehand.
Really? Sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And especially like the last feature in Whistler is usually a tricky one for the slope, because it's a lot of different events coming into that finish corral, right? With the DH race and the dual slalom and also the speed and style. So I think that year was the craziest one for the last feature, because I think they probably did some rebuilding and stuff of this like snowboard step down booter type jump. And I think at least myself and Martin got to hit it like probably once or twice or 3 times before the event. And I think I've jumped it. Actually, I might have just jumped it straight once before the event. And then in the first round, I just flipped it. And then in the second one, I went for like a cork flip bar spin and managed to stomp that. So I was really stoked.
Yeah, that end feature every year, because of like how the heel runs, like it falls away so much. Like that is always so horrendous. I enjoyed it when they sort of made it more of like a double, or like one year they kind of made it feel like a step up, but otherwise it's these huge flat drops, or like you say, those big step downs, which they look amazing. But as we saw with Martin, he's had a huge crash there. Like there's been so many crashes there, and it's like, it's good till it's not for you riders. Did you guys ever say to them, like, you've got to give us something safer, or is that frowned upon to sort of say that as a rider?
Yeah, I don't know, actually. I never mentioned it. And I don't know if people have, actually. I mean, I think it's a great show booter, right? And need a spectacular finish to a run. And like you're saying, Martin definitely ate shit big time on that one. And that was the same year that I ended up 4th. So it was tough to see, like standing in the bottom, seeing him come down with probably would have been the winning run that year, and just eating it on the last feature.
Yeah, he was on fire for sure that year, as were you. Like, it's just such bittersweet, with the sport. Like, you can go from the highest of highs to lowest of lows just within an instant.
Totally. But then I guess after that, it was still all sunshine and rainbows. And I think after the Red Bull Phenom win, and then another podium, and then the 4th in Whistler, I got picked up by Red Bull as well, which was definitely like a dream coming true, riding with that helmet on. And actually got it put on my head just the day before Martin had his own invitational event back in our hometown, just in the middle of the city, which was a really cool experience, just riding in front of family and friends and just basically showing them what we've done competing all over the world.